Everybody got my Augmentino? Maybe I should ask that. Yay!
No, I
I
don't
do.
have that yet. I don't have that yet. When do we start
You-
that?
Well,
Tomorrow. No.
if we finish it, if we finish this one, chapter 211 today, then we start the next
Okay.
one tomorrow.
So
And
we're just
it's something
doing
you
this.
can get at half price bookstores very easily.
Okay.
Right, we're
Yeah, I'm
doing the
thinking my
six.
dad might have that somewhere in the house.
Yeah, I ordered
Yeah,
it on Amazon and it was like $4.
Right.
Oh.
Both of these together were like $10 on Amazon.
Oh, okay, great.
And
Yeah.
other than the holidays, they would have been there probably in a day.
Right.
Gotcha.
So these are really popular books. So, insure a future income. Well, that's almost an EXP saying, but what do you have to say about that?
Oh yeah, it says $7.56.
Yeah.
What I'm sorry, what section were we to read for today?
We're on the sixth cure, Jason. Justin.
And potentially into the 7th.
We're beyond my book.
Yeah. The
Yeah, we're
sixth
beyond
cure.
where I am. I will share this though. Yesterday for Christmas, I got a purse in a white elephant gift exchange at my mom's house, and I promptly gave the purse to my aunt. And while being a little bit behind, I'm reading the first cure for the lean purse, so I'm again a little behind. But one of the things that Arcad spoke about was his first tool, or weapon or asset, whatever language he used, was a well-worn purse. That inspired so much thought in me. Like, number one, was it stupid for me to give away the purse, which I really don't need a lady's purse, but
Yeah, you do.
as a metaphor as much as
metaphor.
anything. Secondly, I thought about that I don't carry a wallet. Like, I literally have no purse, or it's like a rubber band. Like, I bring my stuff around, and I have for years. So not only did I turn down the purse that the universe handed to me on Christmas, I have no purse that I carry around. And then I got to thinking about a used purse. And when you get further along into these cures, like your home being owning your own home, maybe that could be a metaphor to start out with a used home, or a place that needs work, or all. So it's really interesting to me, is like, this stuff seems so basic, but as I started connecting the dots, kind of looking for metaphors, I've just and a lot of this just happened in the past half hour. Like, I'm sitting there,
That's so funny.
what does this mean? So I talked a
What does
lot,
this
but
mean?
I felt like I needed to share that. So good morning.
That's really cool.
Every day after Christmas.
So you can't have a lean purse if you don't have a purse. And I guess.
And for all the things about not carrying a purse and doing everything electronic, if you've ever been stranded without a phone, you wonder, because you don't have your phone numbers, you don't have all your information. And so having, even a waist, something that goes underneath your shirt or something like that they do for traveling overseas, you might put your passport in and stuff. Something like that is worth having. $10, you can make a phone call, maybe borrow somebody's phone, although people tend
It's
to.
not that he doesn't have any money. It's just.
No, it's not that he doesn't have any money. It's just when it's all electronic,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the same thing. I mean, if You know, you could say that any one of a number of bank accounts is also a purse, but you don't have
Mhm.
that physical.
That's
Um,
true.
you can't feel the weight of it or listen to the coins jingle. You can't smell it. You can't look at the burned up leather on there. And then, like, to your point, if you lose your phone or the battery goes dead, that's like your purse that you can't open it or you
Oh
need.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Momentarily lost it.
Well, it's
I
like
could-
if the internet goes down, right? The internet
Yeah.
goes down at your house, you're out of business.
You're
Right.
well, you may be out of business since everybody's done it, but it certainly decreases the communication. And I got that shock when I was going through Calgary a couple of years ago, and I couldn't get any internet for whatever reason. I couldn't get any internet. I couldn't call my family to tell them I'd be late, where they were, where I was, or anything else. I was like, and I was in the middle of Calgary. Like, what happened? So, anyway, it brought a new sense of all of that to me. So I just bring it up to be aware of that. You know, never be without $10 or $50 or $100 somewhere.
Well, back to the book. Today's chapter is on insure a future income. So what do you have on that? Anybody got anything to say about that one? Insure a future income. It's the sixth cure.
Well, what we all know and what we're talking about, it starts out with, it behooves a man to make preparation for suitable income in the days to come when he's no longer young, and to make preparations for his family should he no longer be with them to comfort and support them. So these are the lessons. I mean, these are biblical lessons as well. Whether that's what this is based on or not, it still is. Anyway, it's good to have something when at all times, and knowing that you have choices to take care of yourself.
So this is a future thinking individual then. This is
Mhm.
not just living day to day or going from paycheck to paycheck. We're thinking long range here. We're thinking, years and years in advance. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, the one in the next paragraph, he should plan. A man who, because of his understanding of the laws of wealth, acquires a growing surplus should give thought to those future days. He should also plan certain investments or provision that may endure safely for many years, yet will be available when the time arrives, so which he has so wisely anticipated. Many ways. He may provide a hiding place or bury a secret treasure. No matter with what skill it will be hidden, it may nevertheless become the loot of thieves. So I don't recognize that plan. Don't take it and bury it somewhere. But again, here we come back to real estate. A man may buy houses and lands for this purpose, and wisely chosen, they're permanent in their value, and their earnings for their sales will provide well for his purpose. And one of the comments that's come up through the years with various clients, as we're talking about investments in the stock market, because, I could make more in the stock market. And I said, did you ever try living in the stock market when the value went down to nothing? So if you don't have at least one house, a place where you can live, and all your income goes away with that, it can challenge you. And even if you have other houses, again, if you have rental properties, that's something that can be sold at a future date, usually, even if it's at, whatever the sum, high or low, it can be sold again. It can be rented, it can be leased, and even if it's a low amount, buying in a solid neighborhood for yourself doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be, if you pick places where you might tend to live, or that many people would live, and they've got good schools. Those are the kinds of things I see him talking about.
Yep. Awesome. Very
Jeanette,
good, Jeanette.
where you started reading, does your book in fact say there are many ways by which a man? Mine says diverse. And I know this book is probably public domain, so there's probably different versions and whatever. But you know, it's interesting the meaning by changing from many to like many implies that there's many different ways you can do it.
Oh, the
Diverse
next
implies
the next line that I said when the time, it says there are diverse ways by which a man may provide. And yes, I agree with the diversity of it too, because so I highlighted and I skipped that one. But yeah, diverse. You can put some away as a treasury. You can put some away in the stock market. You can put some away in trading and real estate. Diversity is very helpful. You know, if you go
Do you have?
go ahead.
So what do you think about the idea of burying some? I've got a friend that has a coffee can buried in his backyard.
Well,
of course, if he dies, nobody knows where that coffee can is. I have to get a metal detector to go find it, I guess. But I know it's there. I just don't know where. But
That's funny.
Jeanette and I have a safe in our house, and we keep some cash in there. And I have a friend who he had some money in a safe. His house caught on fire and burned to the ground. They just barely got out with their lives. And the safe, although it was metal, was not able to protect the paper money inside. He burned up $250,000 in that fire. So he was like, and he had no way to prove that that was there, right? So he, you know, it was a loss. So lesson learned there. It's good to have cash on hand, but not so much cash that'll hurt you.
Yeah.
not more than you can afford to lose.
Right.
Perhaps it's a
Right.
way to.
So,
But then when you're saving up that much money, so
yeah. So
keeping the rainy day.
there's some wisdom that needs to be learned here. And I know there's some other ways to do this besides just investing in real estate and stocks. There's another thing called revenue share. That's a really awesome plan. I've heard that people are doing really well on that. So there's another way to really, I mean, like he said, there's diverse ways to do this.
So if there's several ways to do it, right? We all know there's several different ways. So when you're I would say like the contrast between when you're saving in the beginning, like when you decide you're going to start saving and you have enough to cover your expenses, but not enough to save, what's a good way to do that? And then once you're all the way at the other end, what's a good way to start that?
Well, anybody have any answer for that?
One of the
Well,
reasons when we worked with Dave
Jeanette.
Ramsey, the pattern at that point that he had used was make your budget and put the cash into envelopes so that you knew when you got to the end. Because when you use a credit card, even if you have something in your head, it's easy to go over and take from the other envelope when you're in that tight of a place. But still always saving $1 one check and then saving $2 on the next check if it's that tight, or taking 1% and the next time maybe taking 2% and putting it into a savings. Because the first thing he also says is have $1,000 emergency fund, so that if you have an auto breakdown, you got to replace the tires, $1,000 is going to cover most of those. So one of the first savings while you're paying your bills is also to save an emergency fund. Is there other ways to do it? Certainly. But there's a whole lot of people across the United States and beyond that have changed their lives by following this pattern. Once you get the bills, most of your debts paid off or all your debts paid off, you have choices, and there's a freedom with it that Doug and I have enjoyed and experienced, and grateful for it. But it is a discipline to use. Somehow, if you just use a credit card and keep it in your head, you have got to know, and it's a lot of work. How much did I spend here? Oh, I forgot. You're keeping your receipts. Sometimes you're buying 5 categories on one receipt when you go to the grocery store. Well, then what do you do?
Yep. So the envelope system, do you know about that?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I
And
was
then
more asking the question for like debate and what other people, to put in.
Well, there's it.
One that we used was a money market account, just to have cash available, because if you put it in stocks or you put it in mutual funds or anything like that, you can't really get to it immediately. But we have a money market account that is interest bearing, and it's usually much better than a regular savings account. Some of those, you kind of have to watch that market. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good, but that's one place you can do it. But then what the idea is to get past your emergency funds and really start saving, which is now you're thinking long-term, you're thinking buying stocks or houses or things like that. So if you can't, if nothing else, start off with a savings account.
Yeah.
Piggy
Okay.
bank.
And I know we're talking about a lot of, what are you guys doing? Matt, Justin, Cheryl, what all are you guys doing?
Saving wise?
Yep.
And
Welcome, Erica.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm a little different being a loan officer. I work for a company, so I have 401k. So I'm
Right.
putting, I have the company matching, and I put almost 10% of my stuff into 401k. Both my kids are the kids are educated. So now it's just a matter of catching up, after having, 3 Division I children going to college, and even scholarships and financial aid helps a little bit, but now it's a matter of playing catch up. When they were little, we thought we had plenty, and now it's like, whoa, we're not in a hole, but we've been treading water while we've been educating these rotten kids.
Right.
Definitely.
We remind them consistently they will be taking care of us one day.
Mhm.
They'll be part of our future plans.
Right.
Yeah, your education cost us, decades.
Right. Yeah.
so when we teach them good financial planning. Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
It's like a $250,000 cup of coffee right here.
So we teach them well in finances so that we know that they will have the provision, and they'll also know how to use the provision that we have set aside to help them help us.
Yeah.
Here's another one in here. It says, wise thinking men will devise a plan to insure against death, whereby many men pay in but a trifling sum regularly, the aggregate making a handsome sum for the family of each member who passes to the beyond. So life insurance is another way to guard your wealth. We've had so many conversations about this with younger families. If you ask the question, what happens if he dies? What are you going to do? And just shut up and let them answer the question.
Life insurance it's a lot like other types of insurance. You need to shop too. You have to make determinations on what the right kind of life insurance is. And 3, when you get to a certain age, it's no
Right.
longer really affordable,
Yeah,
right? So you don't
that's right.
start early. What are you going to do? You know, I think that's really important. While we do have those things in place, had I known more, I was raised in an entrepreneurial family, all or nothing, baby. Go get them, Tiger. You know, you need to make more money, go buy a new car. You're in sales, you'll learn this, you know. And so I didn't know about the universal policies and things like that, even though we had those as children implemented by our grandparents, you know, and that's how you bought your first car, your first home or something. And so I think this is really powerful, learning these things and then imparting them, you know, to future generations and discussing these with your clients because most of them don't know,
Right.
you know, especially the first time home buyers and things like that. So it's a lot to learn. And I thought I was super smart when I, you know, started a Mad Money account. You know, I've got Mad Money accounts all over the place. So, you know, Mark will go, "Hey, where's your money?" Because I have to hide it from myself, you know, from my upbringing, even to this day, you know. So I think it is kind of interesting.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Justin, what are your thoughts?
Did you ask me? I thought I
Mhm.
heard you said Justin. So um, it's interesting, like reflecting on this. I looking back, I recognize that I've had a handful of properties, mostly homes. I mean, I've made money by working as an agent or contractor, or like some weird blend of the two, mostly. Um, but in truth, that's like just enough money to live on. And the most amounts of money I've received, and especially in big chunks, have been from obtaining a property, you know, repairing it or increasing the value of it and selling it. And I don't know if I've been really conscious of that up until this point. And as I'm sitting here, I'm in a pretty big building that is slightly burdensome, and you know, I think that there was a shift in my thinking that, you know, like this one I want to keep, which, and maybe that's the case, but if I want to keep it or don't want to keep it, I really need to look at what kind of vehicle it is. Because I think that I've been living with my purse has maybe been these properties that, you know, I get them and I put money into them, put it, and then I sell the purse. And that's where my wins have come from. And for me to then keep the same purse, I need to change my business plan or my MO to have a successful result. Because if I do the same thing that, you know, got me to here, it doesn't like maintain and provide for that same purse.
Is this mean that you diversify, you continue with your buy and hold, and now your buy, flip, and sell,
Well,
and
and yeah, so now if I wanna hold and keep a building that's a lot more than what I really need, I either need to um, you know, either not do it, so flip it and then move on to the next vehicle, or I need to really ramp up those other income gathering pieces to make this not a burden.
Right.
Or I need to like double, triple down on renting portions of it out so that it is providing income to me like a mixed use type building should. And I have a little bit of all, you know, all of those things going on, but it was interesting. Russ told me not a week or two ago that I need to make a decision on, you know, what I'm going to do. And I think just the reading in this book and looking at things some different ways has given me some clarity to it needs to either be like A, B, C, but yeah, something should be different, because I'm past the last rehab and flip by a few years now, and I changed the model without really consciously changing it,
Uh-huh.
Justin, where
Well,
are you located?
this requires a lot of planning, that's for sure. Go, Cher.
Justin, where are you located?
So I live in Lake Moore, part of McHenry, is a northwest suburb of Chicago.
Oh.
And I sold my house in the next town and bought, I live in an industrial area that has caretakers quarters provision. So I've got a 9,000 square foot building. The first floor is shop, and then upstairs is office and apartment. And I have some storage and some legitimate business use of this property, but mostly it's just housing my crap that, when you take it and project it over time, even if I have, whatever it is, $50,000, $100,000 worth of trucks and parts and materials and whatever downstairs over the
It's called hoarding, Justin.
Over a period of about 18 months, it's worthless by the time I hang on to it.
Yep.
So it's like, this is really cool. It's like a real opportunity to look at this stuff and kind of grow.
I was just curious about that because I love to flip. I got into real estate, bought my first home and flipped all within like a minute, and it was just kind of a fluke how all this stuff started in 2005. And I love flipping. I've learned more about real estate in that renovation and flip process and mortgage and everything else. And so I come from a place of being able to give what I've learned because I have lived it. One of the things that I'm finding, though, is that I probably could have done things so much better. And so I've joined investor groups. I've masterminded with tons of different people that have done so many different strategies. But you have to continue to expand your wheelhouse because they're all highly specialized. And mine, I seem to find all these crazy outliers, and then you go through these processes and I started doing what we call corporate rentals, which is now midterm, which we've had a bust in that. And so my income is down more than 6 figures just on 2 properties in Austin, and so we started it long before it was a thing. But now there's people that are coming on and doing the whole arbitrage, and you have to really learn who you can trust. And I think that's part of this, is that we have to understand our financial thing. What I learned is that flipping, if you're not going to own it, flipping is nothing more than another transaction on the treadmill. So do I want to continue to flip and work that? Or do I want to continue to serve others? How can I marry them both? Am I 1031ing? Am I paying too much tax? So that's why I was asking and curious, where you are. I have a unique property right now I'm trying to figure out the highest and best use for. And I'm working with land people, and I'm working with all the people that I know in the commercial space going, hey, let's figure this out, help this. But in doing this, it helps us write our next course, and the next thing that we're going to teach, because nobody has an answer for us. So we're just blindly kind of finding our way. And Profit First was kind of like a real thing for me to go, wow, every single transaction, I need that profit to know truly
Right.
what it is. So if I don't know my numbers, my cost of business, what it costs me to have every aspect of every component of this, then I'm not truly growing. And I'm not truly establishing wealth, And so anyway, that I find this so fascinating. I'm so grateful to be part of this with each one of you. And I learned so much from each one of you. But I'm happy to share in any capacity that I could possibly, about the things that I've learned. or in any way, you know, if it'll help you make some decisions around your building. That's why I was kind of curious, you know, where you are. But yeah,
Sarah and Mark are great trainers. They are doing a class like now on a book that we read a few months ago called Exactly What to Say. They went and got the certification to do that, and now they've been running that class. And you're going to start another one when, in January?
January 8th, we do a role play. This is all based
Yep.
on the book Exactly What to Say. And the role play is 8:30 Central to 9 a.m. so that everybody's off. And I know we're over time. But if you're interested, just message me. We'll send you a link. We're doing that for free at this point. We are certified guides. We're one of 40 with the company internationally. And we work directly with LM Jones and his team, building out just what we're doing. It's super exciting. I'm excited
This is
about
just who they are. So anyway, if you want to join that, that's awesome to do.
Yeah, so feel free to reach out however you'd like. But yeah, so we just kind of learn from our experiences, Justin. I love the posture that you have around that. You kind of probably didn't know what you were setting up when you were doing it. And that was me.
Yep.
You know, someday we'll write a book about our experiences and how we learned what we learned, because it's pretty hilarious when you look back on it and you overcome the way you got there.
Yeah, I think too, when things are working, and or when we're lucky, we think we know what's going on, and it's not until something changes that that any of that's brought into question. There's books about that too, like especially revolving around Texas, like these oil guys, is oil would boom or bust or whatever. You know, they're a genius until they're not, and then you gotta figure out what's the next deal.
Well,
Yeah, I'll reach out to you. I'm curious about the property that you have, and if there's anything, you know, maybe a little dialogue back and forth could help one or both of us out.
remember your WUP book as well, because
Yeah.
your WUP book is what you pay. That's where we are following. We're seeing the trends before they become the trend.